welcome to this episode. We have Jim, Sarbh, Ishwak Singh and Nikkhil Advani, who is Gayab, but he will join soon.
Hey, Abira.
Hi, guys. Listen, Rocket Boys, you guys are killing it. Absolutely love the trailer.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So, let me start with, there is a full film that can be made on Jim Sarbh's curls. How did you manage to get those curls settled throughout the film, Jim?
Yeah, about 3 kgs of gel every day. The makeup artist would essentially put out a metal silver palette, would squirt a fuck ton of gel onto it, take a comb, dip it in the gel, and then kind of like yank my hair into position. And that was literally the only way. And it felt like I was wearing a helmet, like I had Maggie hair.
Nikhil, the question is for you. You know, I was just telling Jim before you guys joined in that it was high time that someone told this story about these two heroes. The world needs to know. So how did this story come to you, Nikhil?
It didn't come to me. I can't take the credit. I mean, Jim and Ishwak will be surprised. I'm being so humble, but it did not come to me. I think that full marks to Siddharth Roy Kapoor. So we were talking about doing something together. We wanted to get on, collaborate on something. And there was a guy called Abhay Khorane, not to be mistaken for Abhay Pannu, who is the writer director. But Abhay Khorane was somebody who actually was working with Vikram Motwani, and he had a small concept, 2-page concept on the story of Vikram Sarabhai and Homi Baba. You know, I did not know that they knew each other. So this whole so-called brotherhood that they had for each other, this wonderful feelings of guru and shishya, student mentor. That one was the best man, the other person's wedding, actually went and proposed for him to get married. All those kind of things were just so it had the ingredients of a great story, right? Which has very little actually to do with science. So a lot of people, and I get what you're saying, and a lot of people, Abira, are going to like, oh wow, it's about science, and finally science, you know. It is because their lives are about, one was about space and the other was atomic energy. So you couldn't. I mean, when there's a scene in the show when Ishwak's character Vikram is talking about Mrinalini, he likens it to gravity. You know, so they spoke like that, right? They spoke in those kind of metaphors and they spoke in that kind of language and jargon. But their lives were so much more than just science, and that is what is very interestingly brought about by Abhay Pannu. Writer and director.
Okay, Nikhil, like you said, you know, they used to talk like this in these metaphors. Can you tell me what kind of research went in to find out how they actually spoke, or is it just imagination that we are talking about?
No. So the first thing that we did when we decided to do this was Sid and I said we need to take a trip to Ahmedabad and go and meet the Sarabhai family. Right? We knew that as far as Homi Baba was concerned, next of kin did not exist. His brother and actually his brother's children actually had also passed away. So actually his brother's entire estate is given to the NCPA. You know, so they were a family of philanthropists and benefactors, and they actually not only did they encourage science, they encouraged the arts. In fact, one interesting thing that we found out, Abira, is that I spoke to a TIFR professor, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research professor, and he said that what Homi Baba did in the annual budget of TIFR, he left 1% for art. So the greatest collection of M.F. Hussein's, Razas, Aras, Suzas is inside TIFR.
Gaitondes. Yeah.
Gaitondes, Akbar Padamsi. They're inside TIFR. So it's quite amazing. So the first thing we did, we took a trip to Ahmedabad. We met up with Malika Sarabhai. Of course, they were quite Bollywood. Yeah, these two Bollywood producers are coming and they're saying that they want to tell the story of Pa and Ma. I mean, they're massive legacies. And so then when we try to explain to them what we want to do, and then once we got them on board, so Dr. Padmanabh Joshi, who is the official biographer of Vikram Sarabhai, is part of the project. Professor Spenta Vadia, who actually is responsible, who used to be in the TIFR archives, is part of the project. So then this whole churning happened of what is available on the internet, what are the videos, what are the speeches, what are the letters that they wrote. Malika Sarabhai was kind enough to open. I mean, she showed us the saris that her mother used to wear.
So when Malika Sarabhai would talk about the two of them, she would talk about how fun it was to be around them because they were funny and they didn't take themselves seriously and they had great stories and were charming to be around. And so when you were talking about, how were the particular lines written, I think using all of this research as a springboard, Abhay just did a fantastic job of humanizing these characters and making us feel like we are meeting the real person behind the legend. And that's the kind of person an actor wants to play, or at least I feel so. Otherwise, you have a cardboard cutout of a character that's, straight jacketed by this idea of legacy and responsibility. And so you can't just be a person, a young adult trying to solve the problem, which they were.
As an actor, is this too much pressure to play these real life heroes for both of you?
Can I take this?
Yeah.
Please.
So I think Abhira, the first and I think the biggest victory as a storyteller that Abhay has managed to do is he got both these gentlemen to read up all on Vikram Sarabhai, read up all on Homi Baba, and then he told them, don't play Vikram Sarabhai and Homi Baba. No, the point is that the great in 1942, neither did Homi Baba know that he is going to be known as this great man on a postage stamp of India, right, and the father of the atomic energy and nuclear energy of this country. Nor did Vikram Sarabhai know that he's going to be known as the father of space research. He was just a young boy who was building a rocket in his garage, right? Right, who was falling in love with Mrinalini Sarabhai, who did not know how to tell Mrinalini Sarabhai that he loves her. Till Homi Baba went and said, listen, boss, just tell her like this. It's how it gets done, right? So they were irreverent, they were differential. They didn't take themselves seriously. They were not as if, so they, like Jim has just said, it will break the myth of stodgy scientists, right? Trust me, even when we showed some stuff to scientists, their first reaction was, "Arey, but this is not how Mr. Baba, Dr. Baba was. How do you know? You were not alive. You were not this thing." Right? They were just young men taking chances and making mistakes. The most important thing is they made mistakes.
Well, yeah, the reason that we think of them as great is not because they didn't go through the regular problems, setbacks, and emotions that a human being goes through. The reason that we think they're great is the way that they dealt with those problems and those emotions, and the way they transformed those setbacks and those emotions and actually made them work for them, where it became part of their rich life as opposed to something that was unrecoverable from.
But what I also want to know from you actors is that there are a lot of science involved. But you guys are actors, you just need to act. But when you're playing a character like this, do you also need to know the basic of what they were doing?
I think enough to make sense of the scene. Enough to be able to deliver the lines with a sense of authenticity because you actually know what you're talking about and what each thing you're saying actually refers to. Otherwise, it could have the danger of sounding a bit hollow. But the fact of the matter of it, a lot of it also is, just in your imagination and in just relying on the fact that Abhay has thought of the history and the science, and he knows what he's talking about, and so you need to imagine what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I think it's also about personal motivation, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. If I go about doing a science scene, and if I say that this is a scene where science is integral, and this space that I'm standing in and the significance of what I'm doing here, say in my laboratory at this time, that it is 80% science and 20% emotions, that then the weightage of that definitely becomes a lot more, and I need to know a lot more. So just to answer your question, I think it's impossible to match up or even do a decimal proportion of that kind of work, which any person would have. Like, for instance, I picked up, revisited science textbooks. I couldn't get past 9th standard, and I started from 9th, only a few chapters. But yeah, I mean, then so I kind of played it, started having fun with it, started visiting, looking at certain relevant lectures that's available on YouTube, on certain devices, Geiger counters, rocket science, machinery parts, evolution, Goddard's documentary, all of that. And that, it's amazing. You don't have a definite, you don't know definitely what you want from it, but when you go with all of that prep, to logically sort of plan it out based on, because you keep coming back to your Bible, which is the script, and keep exchanging these notes. It's amazing how at some point you get so much from all these places that you've been to.
The one thing that people have picked up while watching the trailer, which is really, really amazing, was APJ Abdul Kalam. At the end, goosebumps happen. Okay, I can only imagine what will happen when we see the film. I mean, we see the series. So tell me, what was it a conscious decision to put that part in the trailer?
Yes. It is a conscious decision to put that part in the trailer the way where it is also, and that's again full credit to Abhay Pannu for, in the sense that I think that an option had come for ending the trailer in a different way, and he stomped his feet and he listened, and he had a sulk, and then he called me. He said that, sir, how can we not put it like this? It has to be like this. Please trust me, it has to be like this. So his instincts about I'm amazed not only at Abhay's how do I put it, his not only on his homework and given the fact that he's done so much homework, has done so much hard work at getting all those things right, but his instinct about how to tell the story is very special, and that's full credit to the way that he knew.
Did you all expect this kind of reaction?
I got goosebumps, and every time I watched it, and I even we put it on our little actors group. I was so happy for the guy who's playing Kalam, and I'm sure he's thrilled because on YouTube, the first day and the next day started getting this love and support.
Avira, there's a moment in the show before this moment, which I think I tear up every time I see it. I see the rough, I see the offline. It's an incredible moment. And see what Vikram Sarabhai was to Homi Baba, Kalam was to Vikram Sarabhai. That's the Rocket Boy, right? So it's incredible. It's a superb moment. I still tear up. I do it all the time whenever I see it. It's fantastic.
I can't wait to watch the series. And thank you so much, guys. Thank you for talking to us.
Thanks, Abhira.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.